Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Cruz at the Union Pacific Railroad Geneva Subdivision. This is a continuation from yesterday where we had some trains running, kind of just did an overview. Today we're going to be doing some operating in Wheaton, Illinois. This is the Mississippi River Bridge between Clinton and Franklin Grove. But let's go ahead and get to the ops here. This is the train that we're going to be switching. It's the MCLPR. That's the manifest train from Clinton to Proviso. So it's already traveled from Clinton through across the Mississippi River and through Franklin Grove, Global 3, Rochelle, and now it has stopped here in Clinton. And it has some switching to do. There are two industries here. This is one of them. This is Heinz Lumber, and this is going to be taken out. I do not like the track arrangement here. We have a siding coming off and then crossing over the third main line. It just doesn't look right, not prototypical. And it's also a little hard to deal with it being in the corner there as far as uncoupling and so forth. So I'm going to do away with that. There is a Heinz Lumber in Wheaton. That's why I put it there in the first place. So instead, I'm going to put in a siding here, and we're going to have a siding at this little warehouse district. So I have a couple warehouses here already. I'm going to put two more warehouses, and then of course parking lots, and then a siding that'll come off of one of the tracks here. All right, we're here in Wheaton. So today, since I'm going to be making that switch, I'm not going to do the switching at Heinz Lumber. I'm just going to do the switching here at the maintenance away track. Okay. And let's see, I'm trying to do too much at once here. I just ran into the train. I didn't have the switches set properly. So we're going to back that up. So we had quite the little mishap here. So what happens is I have one train stopped here on track 2. And when I have one train stopped, I have to make sure that the through trains are routed around the train. So it's going to be kind of tricky making sure I stay on top of things. Already made one mistake, as you can see. So we're going to just quickly fix this here. So this is milepost 16, which is between Wheaton and Elmhurst. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that switch. And then we're going to stop it and go the other direction. There we go. So I'm just going to be switching the one industry. All right, so now what I have to do while I'm switching in Wheaton, I have to make sure that the through trains, they have two trains going in opposite direction. This is one train here, a double stack train. And then I have to be concerned about this train here, which will be here fairly shortly. So it's kind of a lot to take care of, but it definitely makes some fun operating. So anyway, this is being routed around it, as you can see. And then when that gets past this train here, it'll cross over back in the other direction. And I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. Here I'm going to go to, that's at milepost 78. And I'm going to go ahead and throw that. So when it gets to milepost 78 in Rochelle, it'll cross back over to the correct one, because otherwise it's going to run into the train coming the other direction. So let's see if we can do this. I have the train we're going to be operating with here. All right, we already had a mishap. There we go. Best company to buy freight cars from. There's a lot of them. Scale Trains make some good cars, though they don't have much variety. Atlas has some good ones, although I don't like it when they still have some other cars with truck-mounted couplers. Athearn makes some good ones. There's just a lot to choose from. There isn't really one that's better than the others. I am going to get an uncoupling tool. This is one of the layouts here, or one view of the layouts of the layout. So this is going into, here's Rochelle. I need to get an uncoupling tool. That's one room of the layout. This is the other room. All right, let's go back. All right, so I am only going to be doing the maintenance away. So I have to look for the TPW, the F box, that's a rail box, and a UP. So that's these three cars here that I'm going to be setting off at this siding right here. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and uncouple it here. I may have derailed it. And then we're going to go ahead and pull forward. And then since this is turnout's facing the other direction, I'm going to go ahead and uncouple the locomotives. And then we're going to be doing a runaround with these units. This is the UP 1995 Heritage unit for the Chicago and Northwestern. And then I have one patched Chicago and Northwestern unit here. And we're going to go ahead and pull through. here's a double stack that went through. And I need to now do a runaround. So I'll need to cross back over to track 1 here. But before I do that, I'm going to check and see where the eastbound train is. I may have to wait for that to come through here. Let's see where it is. Yep. So here's the westbound train that we need to wait for. See, I had Rochelle pretty far along. A big difference between what you just saw in Rochelle compared to not much being done here or completed. Just have some buildings set there. Do have the tracks in and ballasted, so that's good. It looks like we have a green signal. And I'm going to go ahead and cross that over. Okay, and the train is through the control point. So we'll go ahead and come back the other way. So we have the heritage unit, the CNW patched unit, that's a C44-9, and then the Union Pacific unit here is an Atlas unit. That's a C40-8. C44-9 is a Cottle, and then the heritage unit is a SD70ACE, which is also a Cottle unit. Now, I don't ever do nighttime operations. Don't have any street lights or anything like that. Maybe someday. I don't have my room lighting set up for nighttime. It's basically just on or off. I have LED lights, so I don't really have it set up for dimming. All right, so we're trying to get to the other side of these cars here so that we can do some switching. So we're going to go ahead and cross over back to track 2. All right. All right, I don't want to take all these cars with me either, so I'm going to set that. We're going to go ahead and uncouple this here again. There we go. And we can go ahead and continue on this way. All right, so these are the 3 that I need to drop off. The flat car and the 2 box cars. And before I drop them off, though, we need to pick up the cars from the maintenance way yard. See the double stack train is coming through again. I remembered to keep the crossover set, so we didn't have a head-on collision this time. This is why it's fun to do this when there's 2 trains running. It's cool to see a train going through. All right. I'm going to check on this engine here because it's been derailing for some reason. I'm going to see what's actually going on. Is it off now? It does appear to be off already, doesn't it? And it's going to come off right here. My guess is the wheels got out of gauge somehow on that back truck. We'll have to check that out. All right, back to the work at hand. We're going to go ahead and make sure these are coupled up. This is a case where we're picking up 3 and we're dropping off 3. So I picked up a steel coil car, a flat car, and actually 2 more flat cars. One of them has a unusual load there. Okay, so you have the turnout button right here. Okay, those are the ones we are picking up. We have to align the couplers. Sorry about that. Little mishap on the operator. There we go. Let's keep it coming back. I've been calling this siding the maintenance away siding, but it's actually going to be some kind of an industry, but I haven't really decided what yet. I don't know why you would be picking up steel coil cars and lumber from a maintenance away track. I have quite a bit of stuff to do here in Wheaton. Like I mentioned, a little bit of the stuff that needs to be done in the warehouse district there. Let's get this uncoupled. Not bad. And we'll go ahead and put this back. All right, we're not going to couple back up to the cars because we're pretty much done with dropping off and picking up. And we need to get the locomotives to the other end of the train. I'm going to make sure this does not couple up this time. There you go. All right. So now we're all set to cross over and then get to the other side of those cars and we can couple the train back up together. Let's just check and see where we are. And we do have a through train coming through. So we'll have to wait for that to go through before we cross over here. This is going to be, to cover this holder is going to be an old bridge that in Wheaton has been converted into a biking trail. So I have a Central Valley bridge that's going to go there, and then it's going to be a biking trail. It's also why I wanted to get rid of this industry here. I'm going to put like a neighborhood here that will fit in a lot better with the biking trail rather than an industry. All right. Oh, good thing I checked. I do not want it to cross over. So at the last minute, I saved the day. All right, with that through, come back here to this end. And let's throw this to cross over. And we can take these units and put them on the head end of the train. I actually should wait because that train is still in the block. But it's my railroad, so I'll do whatever I want. And we're going to break the rules here a little bit. Usually when I don't have a camera to operate and so forth, I also have a way to operate all the signals from my phone. So that can be kind of fun to see how that all goes. I am going to throw this turn out because we are going to want to cross over here. And it looks like we have the signal to cross over. The double track main line is 1¼ inches from center line to center line, and that basically goes along with actually, you know what, I think it's 1⁸ inch. It's whatever the cork roadbed is. I think it's 1⁸ inch, which comes out to 15 feet, and that's a little narrow for class 1 double track main line, but this is a double track main line that's been in place for quite some time. And so when I went to Rochelle and across the Geneva subdivision and actually took my measuring tape and measured the tracks, they are in fact 15 feet on center from one center line to the other center line. If you're going to do some modern double track main line that's been laid recently, you want to give it a little bit more room because the track that they're laying now is much further apart. All right, so we're back to track 2. And we're going to come back the other way. Oh no, look what I did. Yikes. Okay, we're going to watch. It's not watching, so we're going to speed up here a little bit. And then this is not prototypical at all. And I'm going to throw the cross. There you go. So we're still good. That was pretty exciting. I do much better on keeping track of the trains when I'm not trying to do a live video. Oh, well, this way you get to see what really happens on the layout when we're operating, or when I'm operating solo. That looks pretty cool. You know what? I bet you this is crossed over too, isn't it still? Yep. Ooh, good catch. That was old. And now I've coupled, probably a little rougher than I needed to here. Well, we'll go ahead and, all right, we're coupled up to the cars that we were working with here. All we need to do now is get coupled back to the rest of the train, the rest of the cars of the train, and we'll be all set. reason I have this unusual load here on this flat car, I think this is a scale trains or exact rail. I think it's exact rail flat car, and it looks great and is very nicely detailed, but it's light. It's really, really light and does not stay on the track very well. Need to make sure it gets coupled here. Let me go on this side. You have to back up here a little bit. Oops. Kind of missed it a little bit. Here we go. All right, looks like we're all coupled up. Let's see how we're doing over here. Is this thing off again, I wonder? This is the back truck I had issues with. I think it's off still. I'm going to go ahead and... Yes, I am selling locals on eBay. It ends today at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard, I believe. So get your wallets out and bid as high as you absolutely can on the Kato C44-9s with one's just regular Union Pacific, the other one's a patch job. There we go. So if you want some, I'm fitting out my C44-9 locomotives. I had a little bit more than I really needed. So I'm going to be selling some of them. We're waiting here for the double stack train to go through. This is a Global 3. I do have Metra. I have 2 trains that run in opposite directions. We usually run them during operating sessions when there's a lull in operations, if we kind of need some action on the rails and there's not really anything running, we'll run the Metra units. I also have excursion trains, and this one's crossing over. That's why I stopped this one. I'm not going to be running the Metra today, but maybe on the next. That might be a good live episode to do. I also have some excursion trains, so maybe a one live session I will just run Metra trains and excursion trains. We'll do all passenger. But I'm about ready to wrap this session up. The only steam that I have is the excursion trains. I have a Challenger, Athearn Challenger, pulling 7 passenger cars, and then I also have the Kato FEF unit. No Amtraks, and the reason I don't have Amtrak is that Amtrak does not run on the Geneva subdivision. Only time you ever would see that on the Geneva subdivision would be if there was a detour. And I'm going to throw this back to straight. And we'll go ahead and crank these units up. Whoa. Not a very good job there. Kind of went a little fast. That was my bad. Oh, but it still came off. I thought I had fixed it. I definitely got to do some work on that truck. The most units you can put on a train is basically however many units you want to have on however many units you can have on the layout. So there's no real limit. All right, so we're going to go ahead and make sure this is all coupled up. Come on. Having a hard time getting this to couple up in this wall here in between these two sections. So we're going to do this manually here a little bit. All right, I think we got it. Let's check it out. And these units have had plenty of time to air up the brakes. Although I just coupled them back together, but oh well. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take off. I think we're ready to go. Norfolk Southern cannot lead because on the Geneva subdivision, they have cab signals. And so there has to be a Union Pacific locomotive in the lead so that the engineers can read the signals from the cab. Well, this train right now is heading eastbound. It's on track 2, and Chicago Northwestern is a left-hand running, so we'll need to go ahead and cross over here and get the units running on to track 1. I do have some Canadian National. I have a stack train that goes from Chicago to Global 3 with Canadian National, but there's 2 Canadian National units, but headed by one Union Pacific unit. I'm gonna CNW's left-hand running has to do with where they put the stations for the metro trains. So the metro trains are left-hand running, and so that made the whole main line left-hand running. I didn't know that 1995 was out of commission temporarily. It's not broke on my layout. All right, so we went through Elmhurst here from Wheaton. That's Elmhurst. Now it's meeting a stack train coming into Proviso. We're coming into Proviso. The stack train is leaving Proviso. Here's the steam locomotives I have, the 2 excursion trains. You can also see Metra sitting there. That's a Challenger. That's an FEF. And here we are. See if we have a signal. We do. There's the engine facilities of Proviso. And then this is the yard in Proviso. And I just realized that I probably did not Operator error. I did not set this back to straight. There we go. All right, back to my train. All right, so there we went through Proviso. And then here we are coming into Maywood. Almost to the end of the run here. I think I have a F40 PH for the Metro, and then I have one of the newer kinds. I can't remember what kind it is. This is the Des Plaines River. And then from Des Plaines we go into the next room, and we come to River Forest, which is the end of the line. So we've completed the run of this train, the MCL YC. And it will be headed into then the staging yards. So that's the end of this train. Thanks so much for watching. We'll do another live one. Maybe we'll do the passenger ones that I was talking about. But thanks so much for watching. Take care. Have a great day.